Well, good morning everybody and welcome to a very special program, and it's the Easter episode now, and welcome to episode 86. This is Barry Fair with you, and welcome along to you and to all the YouTube viewers out there. Well, this is an all-Easter episode. I've told you all about the history of the show, so I don't need to press the play button ad nauseum. Well, to surprise the viewers out there, well, I'm now 50. Would you believe that?
Happy birthday.
And thank you. And being 50, well, it's been a great experience. Well, joining me in the studio now, here's Alec Taylor. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Easter special.
Morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, first up, Easter. Everybody loves Easter, don't they? But there are a few rules. You must behave well on the Easter break. Here's Alec now to open the show with this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. So behaving well on the Easter break. So lots of people will have a long weekend coming up. Some people will be working through, but lots of people will have a long weekend where they have Friday and Monday off. And it's good to stay safe, isn't it? Drive safe, and everybody have a good time.
And I'll just pause that for a second. So, as we said, everybody likes to have an Easter long weekend, but don't be silly over the Easter break. And like we said last time when we met, if you're planning to go to the Easter show, get there nice and early. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. So early is a good time to go because there are less crowds then, and you can go and see all the things that you want to see nice and early, and make sure that you're not in a rush.
Well, here's how my day started on Friday. So I got up at 5:30 in the morning, had some breakfast, and I'm just 4:30. Welcome back. So my day started off at 5:30. I left the house at 7:10, and got to St. Ives at about 7:50. We left at about 8 a.m. and got there in plenty of time. And you would not believe that. You wouldn't believe it. I brought a $39 pair of sunglasses.
That's cool. You bought them there at the show?
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to. So anyway, after loading up on the bus, we then headed out to Homebush, and it was a beautiful day there. Nice and sunny, warm, and of course, you know the drill. Slip, slop, slap. And if you don't slip, slop, and slap, guys, me no fry, me no fry. You remember that ad, don't you?
I've only vaguely. When was that?
1990, I think.
Me no fry, okay.
So guys, don't get caught out if you get burnt. Okay? Carry your sunscreen. Drink plenty of fluid. Wear a hat. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Great advice for going to the show. In fact, really for any outing, but particularly the show. So you're going to spend a fair amount of time out in the sun. Make sure you've got good sun protection, maybe a long sleeve shirt, a hat. Take your sunscreen and then reapply it, right? So every few hours you should actually...
Every 2 hours.
There you go. So every 2 hours you should put some more sunscreen on so you don't get burnt. Because it's a really horrible feeling, isn't it, to get sunburned? And as you say, particularly if it's a warm day, you really want to stay hydrated. You want to keep your fluids up, and then you'll have a great day.
And, excuse me, if you know that food is going to be expensive, take some lunch with you. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. Taking
Because
some...
we did mention that last time on the show. So you don't know how much food is going to be. And I brought a $7 lemonade, which was a bit of a rip-off, really.
Was it nice though?
It was nice, but I got ripped off.
Well, I don't think I would take that personally. I think everyone gets ripped off at the Easter show. I think everything's expensive, you know. That's just the price of a lemonade at the Easter show. But I'm glad it was yummy. Was it a fresh lemonade?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they? I like fresh lemonade. And it's a good, but it is a good idea to take some food of your own, isn't it?
And I took a can of tuna, so it wouldn't spoil.
Nice.
I made the sandwich and had the lunch where Sam had the stand. And also, guys, I had my photo taken with a paramedic bag dressed up.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Photo with a paramedic. And there was something to do with a radio show. What, can you tell us what happened there?
Yep, I got a shout out on the show with a guy called Mark. He mentioned my name on the air, and he is part of the 2GB continuous call team. So if you listen to 2GB, have a listen to Mark. 9 till 12 weekdays.
Nice, very nice. And were they broadcasting from the show?
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it? And you got a shout out. You are pretty famous.
So also today we're going to be touching on staying safe on the road too, but we'll get to that in a moment. So after my day at the show, we loaded up the bus and I went back to Sinai, got in the cab, travelled home, and I had a pizza for my birthday dinner, which was really cool.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice, mate.
And so we will talk about road safety in just a moment. Okay, but when I got home, I shouted everyone pizza for dinner.
Very nice, mate. That's lovely. What a lovely thing to do.
And my two brothers came along with my sister-in-law, and one of my brothers, he brought hot cross buns to share with everybody.
Lovely.
Well, I shared them with everyone. And get this, on Saturday I had a hot cross bun with bacon in it.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of that before. A hot cross bun with bacon. What did it taste like? Was it good? Yeah. That's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Well, you only...
You only live once.
You only...
You only turn 50 once.
You only live once, mate.
Hot cross bun with bacon. Okay. Very interesting.
Well, now on the show, let's talk about road safety and getting prepared for going away again. That's the end of segment 1. Segment 2 coming up. Welcome to segment 2 now on episode 86. You're with Barry Fair. The time is coming up to 6 minutes to 10 o'clock here. Well, last time we talked about getting ready for a road trip, and we're going to recap that now. It is very important to be prepared and be prepared properly. Okay, now if you're going to go away, make sure that you and your family are well enough to travel away and that your car is in good condition before you take it out on those roads. Here's Alec now to open segment 2 with that on today's show.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. So that's great advice, mate. So if you are going to go away in your car, really good idea to get it serviced. Make sure everything's in good working order, and make sure that it's all safe and ready to go for your holiday.
Because you don't want to have something happen to the car, because like Jack Epsom said, there are no friendly service stations out in the sticks. Okay, and you may have seen Jack prop his car up, drill a hole in his petrol tank. And why did he do that? Well, just to show you what happens in the event that there is no petrol for the next 500 k's. Here's Alec.
Yeah, so you're talking about Jack Absalom's survival shows, aren't you? What year did they come out? Do you remember?
I don't know, mate.
I think it was the late 70s, maybe?
Yeah, so always have good petrol tanks, petrol cans, okay? And never get under a vehicle unless you have something to prop it up. Here's Alec.
Yeah, so that's very good advice. So if you are going to go under a car, make sure it's all safe and propped up well, and if you're driving for a very long distance in the outback, to make sure you have some spare petrol with you and some spare petrol cans. That's very good advice. That way you won't run out.
And also make sure you fill out an alert card as well, and make sure you let the police know where you are going and what the reasons are. Here's Alec.
Yeah, so this was also from Jack Absalom's show. This is where he went to a local police station at the start of his trip and told them where he was going. And it was like a check-in, wasn't it? So that he would then be in a certain place at a certain time, and they knew if he had got there and has kind of checked out, to make sure that he's completed his trip.
So always make sure as well that you have somewhere to stay along the way, like at a hotel or at a homestead, because doing long trips, guys, you want to get enough.
No.
Don't do that. Here's Alex.
Yeah, very good idea, mate. And it's also quite nice, isn't it, to break up your trip with an overnight stay somewhere. And there are so many options these days. You can book through all sorts of websites like Stays or Airbnb. Lots of places online where you can find somewhere to stay and book somewhere for your holiday. Although I suppose with a holiday like Easter, you really needed to have done that earlier, right? So it's probably better to make sure you're organised well in advance for a big popular holiday like Easter.
And make sure that you have a sturdy roof rack to store everything on. Here's Alex.
Yeah, so if you're going to be carrying extra luggage on the top of your car, it's actually good, I think, to use the manufacturer's roof racks. So these days when you buy a car, you can quite often get the car optioned with roof racks, and those roof racks come from the manufacturer. Then you know they're designed and they're strong enough for you to put something heavy on top.
And make sure, guys, that you don't carry perishable foods. Make sure you've got food in cans in drawers. Here's Alex.
Yeah, it's good to have food that was just going to last for a long time as well, isn't it? I think some people will take an esky. So you might have an esky with some ice or ice bricks in it. And if you've got an esky, then maybe you can take some fresh food. But if you don't have one of those, then yeah, absolutely take some food that's non-perishable, that you can kind of cook and eat along the way without worrying about it going off.
And make sure that your batteries are all good and all the terminals there. Make sure you've got enough air in your tires. Make sure that you've got contact with the other family. If you're going with another family, make sure you've got clear, precise information. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, checking your car, making sure the tyre pressures are all good. And if you're going with another family, usually you'll have the other family's contact details, and you'll be staying at the same place, and you'll have some kind of arrangement. Sometimes you might even have an arrangement to meet along the way, and have lunch together or something like that. It's a good idea to plan ahead, isn't it?
So if you do break down and you cannot fix your car, always remove the tires and sand up smoke. So you burn a tube in the morning and a tire in the afternoon. Here's Alex.
Yeah, so this was at the very end of Jack Absalom's show. He was saying if you really get stuck and you can't figure out a way to get going, you've got lost, your car is completely broken down, and you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a prospect of someone coming past, one thing you can do is actually send up a smoke signal. And the way he did it was he was burning the tyres of his car, which makes obviously a big, thick, black smoke. And he was sort of burning one in the morning and one in the afternoon.
You burn a tube in the morning.
Yeah.
And then a tire in the afternoon.
Yep. And that way he had a smoke signal, and someone could come and investigate to check it out and make sure that he was okay. It's quite a clever thing to do, isn't it?
And make sure you check the conditions of the road before you travel on them, because you don't know what the road will be like. Here's Alex.
Yeah, and that's particularly important, I think, for the roads in Queensland and the Northern Territory, which can sometimes be flooded. You've got to make sure that the roads are all still open, and that you're good to go where you want to go.
Now make sure you've got a swag you ask you for your food and a coffee, and tools for your car, and a first aid kit. Make one up just to suit yourself. Here's Alec.
Yeah, now that's a really important thing, isn't it? It's always good if you're going away on a holiday, particularly a driving holiday, to have some kind of first aid kit. And you can, of course, you can make them yourself. You can, collect Band-Aids and bandages, antiseptic, scissors, all sorts of things you can collect in your own first aid kit. Maybe even some antihistamines, So, yeah, great idea.
Or cough medicine.
Cough medicine, exactly. So lots of things.
Panadol, whatever you've got there.
Yeah, great idea. So collect yourself a first aid kit if you're going away on a driving holiday, and that way you'll be okay if you do get sick or injured along the way.
And make sure you take the sun cream as well, because the temperature out in the outback can be a very uncomfortable 50 degrees. Here's Alec.
Definitely. So always want to take sunscreen when you go on a holiday. Sometimes if you're going to somewhere populated, you can buy more when you get there. But it's always a good idea to take your own sunscreen with you. Don't forget to put it on for the car ride as well, right? Because you can actually get quite a bit of sun just from sitting in a car. So it's a good idea to take your sunscreen with you and then reapply it.
And the last thing on this segment is double demerits. So we'll just cut to another shot with that one. So, it's all well and good to go away and travel and enjoy the trip, but fatigue is one of the most deadliest things on any road in Australia. So, if you don't stop, revive and survive, your trip could end before it begins. Excuse me. Here's Alec.
Yeah, now that is probably the most important piece of advice, isn't it? So you always want to drive safe, stop, revive and survive. You want to make sure you take lots of breaks and drive carefully and drive safely. If it's raining, you want to drive a bit slower, and you must never, ever drink and drive. And if you do break the law, as you say, usually on the Easter long weekend, there are double demerit points. So not only will you get fined for breaking the law, speeding or whatever, but you will actually lose twice as many demerit points off your license. And you could even lose your license in one go, depending on what you do when you break the law. So,
and if you I'm planning to go away with the family next time, you will have to think long and hard, because if you screw up on the road, guys, that's it. Your license, gone. Here's Alec.
Absolutely, mate. So, yeah, you've got to be super careful, and if you lose your license, often it's suspended for a few months, and it can really be a real hassle for your life.
And a real sting, because
yeah,
you may have to pay a fine, and you may have to find alternative ways of going away, either flying to your destination and letting someone drive the car because you've lost your license. Because there is a saying that I'd like to use here. Safe speeding, there's no such thing. Here's Alec.
yeah, absolutely, and that is the most common way that people break the road rules, isn't it? They go too fast, they drive too fast.
And wear your seatbelt, because if you get caught without wearing a seatbelt, again, gone. And it's the same with your passengers, guys. Okay, they can get fined too. And using your mobile phone, no. You break the law doing that. I'm gonna do it again. Gone. Your license completely cleared out.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be super careful these days. And the mobile phone one, I think, is quite a big one. So the police now are very, very careful about trying to find people who are using their phone while they're driving. And I think it is a big cause of accidents. People are distracted by their phones. So make sure you don't use your phone while you're driving. Otherwise, yes, you could possibly lose your license.
And fatigue and all those things I have spoken about planning a trip. It's very important that you abide by the rules, because we had 2 long weekends. We've got this one, which is Good Friday, and then the Anzac Day. So guys, if you're gonna go away, please be sensible on those roads. We cannot say it enough on this program, because I'm just gonna pick a time for that. So we cannot be serious enough on the show. So don't be an idiot on those roads, guys. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely, Barry. Very good advice. Drive safe, obey the road rules, and you won't lose your license, and you'll keep everybody else safe as well.
And find somewhere to stay on the way back. That's another thing as well. And be careful of your food, because remember, there might not be a shopping centre wherever you may be going. That's the end of segment 2. Segment 3 is up next. Today on segment 3, I'm going to be talking about Easter and what it really is. Well, Easter, like I said, starts on Good Friday, and what is Easter? Well, I'm telling you the answer right now. Easter is when Good Friday begins, and fish and chips happen, church services, you name it, it happens. Here's Alec.
Yeah, lots happens, doesn't it, on Easter in Australia? And it's a public holiday, both on the Friday and the Monday, so it's a super long weekend. And lots of people do all sorts of things over this long weekend, don't they?
Yeah, mate, and the Easter Bunny too. So, kids, if you're being good, you will get the Easter Bunny. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a very fun thing for kids, and it's an interesting tradition that's kind of emerged over the last few decades, where kids will go on an Easter hunt for usually chocolate eggs, and it can be a lot of fun for them. It's like a little It's a game, and they get to eat a bunch of chocolate at the end.
And what how I Easter egg made, well, in molds, I guess. And then they are wrapped up in special foil. Now, you probably have seen them in the shopping centres on shelves. And for all of you chocoholics out there, donate them all at once, because you won't have room for your Easter feast. Here's Alex.
Yeah, and it can make you feel sick too. So if you eat too much chocolate, it can make you feel unwell. So yeah, eat in moderation. Quite often kids struggle with that, don't they? They'll eat as much chocolate as they possibly can. But yeah, it's good to eat in moderation and don't all eat it all at once.
And fish and chips, like, you can't go wrong with that. So if you're near a fish and chip shop, grab the family pack of fish and chips, where you get the prawns, scallops, fish cocktails, you name it, it's all there. Here's Alex.
Oh, mate, you're making me hungry now. So fish and chips sounds delicious with all sorts of bits and pieces, a big family pack, and everybody can tuck into it. And it sounds a very, very yummy meal.
So, where's your local fish and chip shop? Let us know down below. Here's Alex.
Yeah, mate. So most people will generally know, or a lot of people will know, where their nearest fish and chip shop is. For me, it's actually for Forestville, I think, is where my nearest one is.
Forestville.
Forestville there's a good one in Forestville called Ye Oldie Fish and Chips, I think it's what it's called. And they do old-fashioned fish and chips, and it's really yummy. Where's yours?
I don't have one because it's shut down.
Really? In Beacon Hill or
in Narrowayne?
In Narrowayne? Oh, wow. So you would have, there are a couple over in Monavale, I think. And there's probably one down in Warringah, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there you go. They're probably your closest ones.
So Easter. It's a fun time of the year where everyone can just chill out with the family and their friends, watch an Easter movie, and just really enjoy the day with the family, nice sunny weather, although Easter does tend to, although on Easter it does tend to rain a lot. Here's Alex.
Yeah, it's funny the way that happens, isn't it? So quite often in Sydney, the Easter long weekend is wet. So we'll have to hope this year for different weather. So far, April has been lovely and warm and not too wet. So with a bit of luck, we will have a dry weekend. But you're right. Normally in Sydney, Easter is quite a wet period of the year.
And what's your plan for Easter, Alex?
So Shelley and I are going to drive down to Canberra. We're going to go and stay in a hotel down there and go to the museum. There's a Pompeii exhibition down in Canberra.
Right.
Which we're going to go and check out. So we're going to have a couple of days down in Canberra, which should be fun. Might go to the art gallery, and we might go for a walk around the lake. Should be a lot of fun. And what about you? What are you doing over Easter?
Well, you wouldn't believe it. I won 4 meat trays yesterday.
No. 4? Oh my goodness. That must be a record. That is unbelievable. So your freezer must be stocked full of meat trays. You're gonna have to spend like all of Easter cooking meat. Like it's gonna be a festival of meat at Barry's place over Easter because you've got all of this meat that you're gonna have to cook.
Yeah, so if the weather's good, we might do a barbecue.
Great idea. Great idea. That's a lovely idea.
So enjoy your Easter, everyone, and we won't be open on Anzac Day either, so we might as well touch on a bit on that next. So segment 3 now concluded. Here's segment 4. Well, the next public holiday after Easter is Anzac Day. Now, it's very important to be respectful on Anzac Day. Don't wear hats in the RSL. Here's Alex.
Yeah, it's a good idea to be respectful all the time, year round. But also if you're going to somewhere nice with its own rules, like the RSL or a church or something, it's always good to respect the rules of the place where you're going to, and be kind to other people around you.
And there are dawn services as well. So before you go to the service, make sure that you know where they are, so that you've got transport arranged to go to it. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are dawn services all over, aren't there? So lots of dawn services in different places. So there's probably one close to wherever you live, which you could go to. And they're a pretty good thing to go to as well, aren't they? Because they're showing gratitude, thanks and respect for people who have fought for our country in the past. And that's quite a nice thing to do. So yeah, something that you can go to from time to time. I've been to a few lately. I won't be going to one this year, but it's a pretty good thing to go to.
So make sure you get up nice and early for the dawn services. Okay, I know some of them start at 4:30 in the morning. One at Martin Place, where Channel 7 used to be. Okay, so make sure you've got your transport arranged if you are going to a dawn service. And there will be road closures as well, so keep that in mind, guys. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's right, because quite often there's a parade, isn't there? So quite often there'll be a dawn service followed by a parade for veterans who may have fought in previous wars. So sometimes there are road closures. Quite a good idea to catch public transport if you can. Public transport's always a good idea.
You can do it.
Yes, which you can't always do. Depends on where you live and where you're going. But it is a good idea to catch public transport if you can. Otherwise, just check it out beforehand to make sure you know which roads are closed and where you're going to park and that kind of thing.
And check the weather and wheelchair access. Here's Alex.
Definitely, yeah. So it's good. It's a good idea to make sure that where you're going is accessible, and yeah, the weather as well. So if there's a chance of rain, you've got your raincoat or your brolly or both. And you're prepared so that you don't get wet.
So, and also if you're playing up at a club, bet with your head not over it. Gamble responsibly. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's right. It is a sort of a funny tradition, isn't it, in Australia, the two-up thing? I think it's the one day of the year when everyone is allowed to play two-up, and you don't need a license or anything, and some people play it. I've never actually done it. Have you played two-up, Barry?
I have, but never again.
I have never done it, and I can't see myself doing it, to be honest. I'm not a big gambler, and it sort of doesn't appeal that much to me. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't judge other people for doing that if they enjoy it.
So again, have a good Easter and Anzac Day, guys, because that's very important. And if you're going away on those 2 long weekends, again, please play it safe on the road. Don't think about yourselves, because you are not the only one on the road, and don't use the roads as a raceway. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So good advice for the long weekends coming up, including the Anzac Day long weekend.
So it just gives everyone a chance to recharge their batteries and get away with their families and friends over the 2 long weekends, and make sure you've got enough of everything if you are going away. Here's Alec.
Yeah, good idea to be prepared. Maybe make a list of all the things you're going to need so that you can tick it off before you leave.
And make sure that you've got all your scripts filled by your doctor before you leave, because you don't want to be going to a chemist on your holidays. Here's Alec.
Yeah, so it's a good idea to have those scripts filled so that you don't have to try and find a chemist and fill out a new script and all of that stuff. So be prepared and organise any medicines that you might have before you go.
Well, now we're going to end the show with a recipe from my cold book. So I'm making your mouth salivate as I talk. So here is segment 5 and the second last segment. This segment is proudly brought to you by Coles. And look at that lovely cake there.
Double layer lemon meringue cake.
Oh, yes.
Yum.
And I'll just pause that while Alan. But today, to finish off the show, your guide to seafood. Now, you can see all the different types of seafood there.
Yum.
Beer, battered fish and chips, okay? This is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need about 1/3 of a cup of plain flour, if that's all right.
Yep.
You will need some rice flour, some baking powder, some plain flour, some rice flour extra, and you will need 700 grams of Coles C. Phillips, available from the deli counter. Chunks, stores only. Cut in half lengthwise. Vegetable oil to deep fry. Oven baked potato chips to serve and lemon wedges to serve. For the tartare sauce, you will need some chopped dill, whole egg mayonnaise, 4 anchovies finely chopped, Dijon mustard, and half a lemon rind finely grated and juiced. Okay, step 1, combine the flour, rice flour and baking powder in a medium sized bowl. Add beer or soda water. Okay? So, yeah, okay there. You need to have your beer chilled, okay? So, if I can just say, so you will need about 200 mils of chilled beer or soda water. It must be cold, okay? So, moving on. Add the beer or soda water and whisk to combine. Season, cover with plastic wrap and place in the fridge for 30 minutes to chill. To make tartare sauce, combine the dill, mayonnaise, caper, anchovy, mustard, lemon, lime, and juice in a bowl. Season. Add enough oil in a heavy bake saucepan to cover 5 centimeters up the side on the pan. Heat to 180 degrees over medium hot to high heat. When oil is ready, dip a cube of bread hang on.
Yep, a cube of bread turns golden brown.
Place some rice flour on a plate. Roll half the roll fish in the flour. Dip fish 1 piece at a time into the batter to lightly coat. Carefully place in the hot oil. Cook for 10 minutes or until golden brown and fish is just cooked through. Use a slotted spoon to transfer to a plate lined with paper towel. Divide fish and tartare sauce among serving plates. Serve with chips and lemon wedges. And here we go.
This is what it looks like.
And here is what it looks like.
Absolutely delicious looking.
And the next recipe we're going to finish up with is hot cross bun pudding. This hot cross bun pudding. Okay. There it is there. What you will need for this: 6 cold bakery traditional fruit hot cross buns split. You will need 1.5 cups of milk, 1.5 cups of thick and cream, 5 large eggs, some brown sugar, some vanilla extract, and some raw sugar. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees. Is that right?
Yeah, that's close enough. Says
But
175 degrees.
okay, so what you do, arrange the hot cross buns in a single layer in a large baking tray. Bake for 8 minutes until dry out and crisp. Layer the hot cross buns slightly overlapping in an oven-proof glass container. Okay, so in a large bowl with the milk, cream and eggs and sugar and vanilla to combine, pour over buns in container. Set it aside for 15 minutes to soak. Sprinkle with the raw sugar. Bake for 40 to 45 minutes or until buns are golden and custard is just set. Cool slightly before serving. Here's Alec.
Wow, that looks amazing, doesn't it? So that's what it looks like once you've baked it. And that's a really interesting recipe, isn't it?
So enjoy those 2 recipes, guys. And it's a fun school holiday thing. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooking with your kids is a great thing to do. And it's very rewarding too, because the kids get to eat the food at the end of the experience. So yeah, it's a great school holiday activity.
Now, here's the closing sequence. We have enjoyed bringing episode 86 to you this week. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you have a lovely Easter and Anzac Day, and like I said said before, don't be silly, don't be stupid, don't have a punch-up or argument. Sort things out in an adult-like way. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. Good advice. Be kind to other people and be polite. Don't drink too much, and everybody will have a great time.
And the message that I always bring up at the end of each show, you know what it is. My community announcement, as always, please do not, and we repeat, please do not be an idiot with 000 and tie it up with fake or nuisance calls, and with school holidays now here, kids are bound to bugger around with it. So here's Alec now to close episode 86 with that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks. Always your good community service announcement at the end of the show is just leave 000 for emergencies, only emergencies and not for anything else.
And if you need to report non-urgent police matters, the number is 13144, or if you're struggling with life, Lifeline is there, 213-1114, that's 13-1114, and they are there 24 hours a day for your convenience if you need them. The same with 000. But don't bring 000 because you feel lonely. Bring Lifeline and sort it out there. Now I'm going to put it out there that these 000 operators are vastly more busy than you might give thought to. So if you say an ambulance coming from an emergency, please respect them. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. So please respect both the ambulance workers, but also the switchboard operators, the people who are answering the phones on 000, because they are busy and they're dealing with real emergencies.
And state what your problem is, give the exact address of where you are as well, and if you are calling from home at night, have a light on so that paramedics know that there is someone home, or wait for the ambulance in the street in case they can't find you, or the house, or your business, wherever. So have everything ready before you ring 000, but only, and I repeat, only call 000 if you have an emergency, not for stupid prank, trivial issues, or inappropriate issues like your car won't start, your souffle won't rise in the oven properly, you brought your keys in. If you brought your keys in the car, call the NRMA 131111. That's 131111, and they will be able to get you back on the road. Well, as usual, it is the end of another episode, and we will see you back here on Monday, April 28th, when we next meet, and we certainly hope that you have enjoyed episode 86. Here's Alec now for his farewell.
Thanks for having me on the show, Barry. It's for a lot of fun as always.
And remember, it is nice to be nice, guys. Don't think of just yourselves. Just think of others and speak calmly, and that's all there is to it. Well, I am off to put this episode up on YouTube for you now. You take care, and we'll see you back here on the 28th of April. And it will be episode 87 when we meet again. Until we see you again next time, you know where to find us. Alec and Barry. Let us know what you think of the show. But until then, as Tony Bobby used to say, keep smiling and bye for now. I'm off to enjoy the rest of the day here and Tindites, and you take care. That's all we've got time for. You take care. From us now, have a great Monday, and we'll see you on the 28th of April. Bye-bye now.